So great. That makes me happy. It's like a transformer.
You still have a lot of retention there, and it's easy to restow. And you hear that, my favorite little snap. Woo! That's expensive. What's going on, fire team? Welcome back to Shift Fire, the exploration and appreciation of all things military culture. You guys are tuned in to an episode we like to call War Wallet, a segment where Israel and I take the same piece of equipment and compare them from different manufacturers at different price points.
Today, Cameron, we're talking about chest rigs. If you want a low profile, lightweight option to the plate carrier, you still want to carry your equipment around, chest rig is the way to go, folks.
Without further ado, let's talk chest rigs.
Okay, Cameron, we're starting over here on one side.
Yep.
The first one we're gonna bring up is the Condor
Recon chest rig.
Recon chest rig,
So
right here.
Condor is known in the equipment
Manufacturing world.
just as a lower end tactical gear maker.
Yeah, and this one retails right now for about 42 bucks. The basics starting in the front. We got a couple of 5.56 or rifle mag pouches. We got 4 pistol mag pouches. We got an extra bag pouch here in the center, which probably could carry either a flashlight or some extra pistol mags.
Absolutely.
You got a little bit of Molly gear. You got a Molly gear flap right there. And then you got the chest straps right here with the buckles.
And it also looks like you got a couple internal inserts for radios on the sides here with retention bands. So if you want to run a radio, you have the option to do so. You also finally have an internal, seems like an admin pouch for you with a little bit of padding on it, just to keep you comfortable while wearing this chest rig.
The website says map carrier. Just make sure that with the mesh padding here, folks, you get a water protected cover for that map carrier.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna get a soggy map.
Not to mention, if you're not waterproofing your what do we do when we start humping up hills?
We sweat,
We
baby.
sweat. And if the mesh gets wet, I can guarantee if your not waterproof, you're gonna have some soggy stuff. I'm a big fan of like Kydex or any types of inserts that provide retention. I'm not a big tab fan.
Yeah.
Just because
That'll be these.
when you're running a chest rig and you don't have a dump pouch, right? Plate carriers, you're fully loaded with combat equipment, so you probably have a dump pouch, but you know, when you have to do a tactical reload, which means I'm not dumping my magazine on the ground and forgetting about it, right? These are things we want to hold on to because it's going to allow our weapon to shoot. So when doing a tactical reload, you want to restow your empty mags in pouches. Try putting this in one-handed in one of these pouches.
Right.
And like doing the strap and having the retention.
Oh, jeez. Hey, maybe I'm just not high speed enough, you know?
Like perfect example, right? Putting this in one-handed would be a pain in the ass, especially if you have a gun in the other hand. They're easy to get out, but they're not easy to get back in.
All right, final impressions for the Condor chest rig. I mean, it's no frills, right? Not a lot of extra thought put into it beyond the basics. Front pad, straps,
Yeah,
buckles.
some Molly.
That kind of thing.
I mean, looking at these from a side view, they come really far off of you. You look like a pregnant.
I'm pregnant with emotion.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of a chest rig is low profile, right? So how does it feel on you?
I mean, already I can feel the shoulders kind of biting in. This is not with a lot of,
Right
with
here.
not a lot of weight there.
This is definitely gonna start rubbing, especially when you put a pack on, that's gonna start rubbing your neck raw.
You start stacking stuff on here.
Yeah,
I can
and the
feel
one
that.
thing that I tend to see with like a lot of new people when they start entering the tactical gear world and start buying their own stuff is there's a disease out there that runs rampant, and it's called empty Molly syndrome. And literally people see empty Molly and they immediately think, I need to put a pouch there. Like, there needs to be something here, even if it's useless.
Right.
So like this to me screams empty Molly. Like maybe put a radio there and a general purpose pouch, but that's it.
Right.
Like that's all you need. Yeah, $41 is what you get for if you're just getting an airsoft or, you know, just trying to find something that's gonna accommodate just what you have. You don't really need to be super pretentious when it comes to tactical gear, but 41 bucks. Let's see what else we got.
All right, folks, this is the Haley Strategic D3 series of chest rigs. We got the D3 CRM Micro and the D3 CRX.
Let's talk about the Micro first, just because they obviously are both designed for different mission sets here. The D3 CRM Micro is exactly what it sounds like. It's a very low profile micro chest rig. And one of my favorite things about these chest rigs is the fact that they utilize their MP2 insert system. So pretty much a lot of the inserts that they use, you can exchange these out to accommodate the weapon systems you're using, right? So the one that we have here has the 5.56 inserts that allow you to obviously use 5.56 magazines, and StanAg, PMags, they all fit perfectly, and there's 0 tab retention, which I'm a big fan of, because I can literally pull this out and then restow it with no issues at all. And you know, if I'm moving around, I'm hustling and bustling, I'm not worried about this, my mag's flying out, right? So 3 magazines, 2 multi-mission pouches on the side can accommodate multi-tools, pistol mags, and then you have your GP pouch, your general purpose pouch on the front that has Velcro and these retention tabs on inside. So if you have anything to hold batteries or with a Velcro backing, you could stick it on there. You can put smoke grenades, flash bangs. If you're in law enforcement, flashlights, you can hide your taser in there. You can put everything in here, and it all sits in a very small system. I know you're itching to explain one thing because I see you fumbling with it on the back.
I'm fumbling with the Velcro. If you look back here, folks, you got a pad covering a Velcro pad. Now, if you want to use this with the thorax plate carrier, you can just slap that right on there and attach it with the Velcro.
The front acts as a placard replacement. Pretty sure this works not even just exclusively with the thorax, so if you have an existing plate carrier that utilizes placards, you can pop those in, and now you just have basically an interchangeable placard that you can interchange with any of your plate carriers. So another thing that I think is super cool, especially with the disruptive environment chest rigs, which is what the D stands for, is the fact that they are super modular with a lot of different Haley Strategic things.
That's right.
Right here I have the Haley Strategic Flat Pack Plus. So if I wanted to run this chest rig as a complete system, all you have to do is literally just clip your Fast-Tex into the flat pack piggyback straps, and boom, I now have a complete fighting chest rig with back storage. And they also make something called an EUD bridge, which I think is super awesome. It basically attaches right here, and it provides a MOLLE platform for your chest. So if you wanted to run, say, a Juggernaut with an ATAC, you now have that.
Oh, no kidding.
So this becomes a complete warfighting system, which I think is super cool. That's why I'm a big fan of these chest rigs. Not to mention, like I said, the retention is super good. It's really easy to stow this one-handed, and it feels very comfortable just because these straps, unlike the Condor, are low profile, and I'm not worried about them digging into my neck once I put a pack on. And from the side profile, it still sits really close to me. I don't look like I'm pregnant, right? And if I put a jacket on, I'm fairly confident that I could keep this pretty low underneath my jacket so it won't look like I'm printing, which is what we call it when you're trying to conceal something.
You're looking at about $175 for this front part right here, just the micro system right in there.
And the harness as well.
And the harness?
This one, I think more law enforcement and just like civilian. I need something very low profile, something extremely lightweight, but in case I need more, I'm thinking more the D3 CRX, which I also I'm a big fan of. This one features the standard X harness straps, but unlike the Condor, they're not bulky, they're super low profile, they're light, and I don't see a lot of rubbing happening with this. This chest rig utilizes the MP2 inserts, so they have the retention tabs on top if you like to use them, if you want a little added, but the MP2 are super awesome. They're very modular and they provide great retention. So just like the guys at Haley Strategic like to do, is they would put a lot of thought behind something. So if you're a guy that likes to run tabs because you're scared of losing mags, if you're operating, you know, overseas or in the military, you're doing a lot of bounding, 3 to 5 seconds rush, getting in the prone, you don't want to lose your mags, so you can use the tabs. But if you don't, easy fix is all they are figure 8 knotted in the back with the bungee. Just undo it, remove the tab, and look, you still have a lot of retention there, and it's easy to restow. And you hear that, my favorite little snap. That lets you know the magazine is sat all the way.
We got a couple pistol mags here. We got a couple general purpose mags for maybe some surprise grenades or something like that.
Yes, surprise grenade, as Grantham likes to say. So, but yeah, can totally accommodate, a smoke grenade, a frag grenade. The front, they're not exclusively just for pistols. They're the multi-mission pouches, so they also accommodate 40mm grenades.
Hey,
so if you're
if
you're a 320 gunner or you're a 203 gunner, you can fit 4. And one thing I failed to mention is all of these also allow you to use a dangler if you want.
So you can have something extra kind of right underneath.
Yeah, so
Haley coming down.
Yep, so Haley Strategic has their hangers systems, which are, if you want more space, if you want another pouch, but you don't want to put it left or right, why not put it underneath? So now you have their hangers, which are great. You can use them as IFAKs. They have a couple different hangers, like their med mag becomes a hanger. They have their 40mm hangers, which accommodate 40 mic, more grenades. So you can run 4 here, and I think it accommodates 6, but don't quote me on there. But if it does, you have 10 40 mic grenades on you, and that's a good time for a chest rig. Just like the micro, you can use this exclusively as a placard. So the back removes. Velcro snaps here. All I do is plug it up to me, and bam, right there. They also have some of the fast tack inserts that you can attach to the cummerbund of your plate carrier just to give you a little bit more retention on it. But if you wanted to use this as a placard, you absolutely can. Okay, so putting this on, easy as 1, 2, 3, 4.
One for the Ranger in the sky.
Yep, absolutely. Pretty low profile, right, as a chest rig. Comparing it to the micro feels almost the same, even though the size differences are pretty extravagant. But the cool thing is with the MP2 system, you can exchange your magazines. So you're not only restricted to M4 mags. And they also have this in a heavy version, which accommodates 308. But these can fit AK mags, these can fit 5.56 like we have in right now. So just, you know, modularity is the name of the game. The only thing is these don't accommodate a radio pouch.
Okay.
Which at first I was kind of confused because I'm like, well, you know, radios are really important because in my experience when I'm running a chest rig, I'm usually doing some sort of reconnaissance. Then you read the website and you're like, well, we purposely didn't include the radio because that's a sensitive item. So if you need to take this off, you have your radio still on your person.
Okay.
So, including with like your IFAK. So if you have a belt mounted IFAK, that wants to stay on you in case something happens, right? Because you're gonna have to take this off if you're a casualty anyways, and you want your IFAK still on that casualty because you're taking from their IFAK.
Right.
Same thing with the radio collecting SI. There shouldn't be a lot of SI on here, so that way you can just take this off, start working on them, and all their SIs are already with them. So the D3 CRX is going for a little bit more, but not too much, and this one is about at $199 on their website right now. So I love these chest rigs, they're awesome. Now, let's move on to a little bit more expensive one, and which is actually my personal owned, and we'll talk about that one. This is the Velocity Systems, also known as Mayflower, UW Chest Rig Gen 4. So this is actually my personally owned one, so I got about 2 years of wearing this in the field, so I got a lot to say about this.
Nice, man.
Yeah, first impression, extremely lightweight, right? The material is very light. There's not a lot of bulkiness on it. It's like literally wearing spandex.
Yeah,
so it sticks to your body really well. I think there's a lot of thought that also went into this plate carrier, and there's good reason why I picked this. One, I was looking for something that I can wear on recon operations. Having a radio, which was big, and this accommodates 2. So I've been able to fit some Harris 152s in the side here. At first impression, they look like general purpose pouches, but then I realized that they come with these removable Velcro retention tabs that allow you to put the radio in, and all you do, yep, there you go. Yep, so it comes with these removable ones, so if you wanted to put a radio in either your left or right side, you absolutely can, but in case you just want to use this as just a general purpose pouch, you can remove those tabs, and now you don't have to worry about that bungee cord getting in the way. If you want to put a smoke grenade in there, which I've put a smoke grenade in there. If you want to put some snacks, I've put snacks in there. It fits it all. And this strap, literally all it does is you fold it back on itself, and now it's out of the way. And now you have an open top so you can work your channels on your radio. Like I said, I put a 152 in here. You can also put the bow things, a smaller radio, it will accommodate. And the cool thing is, depending on which way you mount the radio, the antenna comes up, and on the harness, you have these loops here that allow you to route the antenna through it, so it keeps it out of the way of your face. If you've worked with antennas before, especially long whips, you know they kind of stab you in the face.
Yeah, you gotta find a way to store them. That's actually a pretty handy solution for the comm guys.
So also on the other side, they have it on both sides. So if you're running any type of hydration bladder, an assault pack with a tube, you can route it through there to keep it, you know, close by you so you can drink water.
Yeah, or if you're left-handed.
Or if you're left-handed, yeah. This one, everything's static, so it only accommodates M4 mags, so basically 5.56. Moving on, you got 2 general purpose pouches up in the front. This one's my dip cam pouch. This one is my compass pouches. Keep a compass on just a little
Classic, wow.
one of those medical shears, ID tag things.
I love that little lensatic compass.
Yeah, it makes it easy so you're not doing that thing where you're rolling it up every
Yeah,
time
I
you're
like
using
that,
it.
man.
I have a multi-tool just in here, but it also accommodates pistol magazines or anything. It has these little Velcro things. If you wanted to put a carabiner here to put chem lights on, you could. I just have used this for attaching a tourniquet before, just to carry it on here somewhere with some rubber bands in conjunction with that.
I like it. Super low profile, but a lot of options.
Yeah. Remember when I was talking about the H harness in the beginning? This is an H harness. So instead of crossing in the back, you have it just coming straight down to you.
Right.
I think it's superior to the X just because with a pack on, it tends to rub. So the H harness keeps that material out of the center of your back and keeps your back skin intact. So one thing about chest rigs is protection, right? There's no protection when you're wearing a chest rig.
What you sacrifice is what you exchange
Exactly.
from a plate carrier to a chest rig.
Exactly. Plate carrier, heavier, but you're safer. Chest rigs, you're lighter, you're more mobile, but you're sacrificing that protection. One thing I look for when I'm choosing a chest rig, especially for military application, is the ability to work with a plate. And I found that in this. Unfortunately, the only downside is that you have to pay a little extra to get this little accessory, but in my opinion, it was totally worth it. I don't remember off the top of my head how much this costed, but I think it was around 50 bucks.
So we got a little accessory right here. It folds out, looks like a little pocket right in there.
Yep, if I want to rig my chest rig to accommodate a plate, we have our Defender armor plate right here. Standard size. All I'm gonna do is I slide that on like a, and I bungee on the bottom.
Little suspenders.
Little suspenders there. And then all I'm gonna do is open the admin pouch. I slide this down, center it, and the Velcro sticks to it. And now I have a plate in my rigs. So put this on.
So great. That makes me happy. It's like a transformer.
So now I am protected.
Right on, man. I really like that modularity. We don't see that a lot.
So now I have the added protection. It fits really well because the H harness sits it snug against your chest. It's in the right spot. And the cool thing about this harness is it provides a little bit of molly. So if I wanted to put an admin pouch or my ATAC, I could definitely add my Juggernaut right there with, you know, not a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
The one downside that I've experienced with this rig is the pouches for my magazines. There's no retention. It's all bungee. So comparing it to the Haley's with the MP2 inserts where I can run it without, this one, unfortunately, I cannot. And the magazines sit really low inside. So if I want to do a beer can grip to reload, it's really challenging. And restowing's not too hard. You just have to push it over to the side. And I've practiced on this one a lot.
I can tell, yeah.
So obviously, the purpose of equipment is to make my life easier, right?
Yes.
So you pay for what you get, but if you don't have the best of the best, as long as you train on it, it works for you. There you go.
Final thoughts. What do you think? 210 bucks?
Honestly, Velocity Systems, they're a very reputable manufacturer. They have my stamp of approval. I think this is totally worth the money. I've had a great time using it. So it's up to you whether this matches your mission set. It matched mine, so I was pretty happy with it. But everybody wants to know what we chose for the expensive chest rig, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. From Condor to Crye, we have arrived. The Crye AVS Detachable chest rig, sitting right at the pretty price tag of around $400.
Woo!
That's expensive. But wait, there's more. You pay $400, and unless you have an AVS system, which I don't even want to mention how much that's another like $5 right there. You need to purchase the straps for it, which is gonna run you another $130. As a complete system, if you want to be able to wear this just by itself, you're looking at around 530 bucks plus tax and shipping. At first impression, I was like, why the f is this worth $400?
What am I looking at here? Yeah.
But then I started looking into it and what you can do with it and everything with that, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense. We have 4 magazine pouches, all with retention on them. Not a huge fan of retention, as I've said, just because I'm all about speed, especially in terms of a reload, but it keeps it safe, it keeps it in place, and you know, it keeps the elements out of your mags, because a dirty gun does not like to run. So, you know, if you're doing river crossing, if you're in the desert, it's very windy, you get dirt in your mags, it might cause a malfunction, so this keeps it nice and clean. The outer magazine pouches actually act as a radio pouch. So if you wanted to unattach this, you have these retention straps here that allow the pouch to open up. You can route these fast tacks underneath, tuck this in, and basically now you have a radio pouch that you can store. Additionally, in the outer general purpose pouches, you have this elastic retention on the inside of both the general purpose pouches, which also can accommodate a pretty decently sized radio. So if you want to run it internal, you absolutely have that option. Moving up, you obviously have MOLLE for admin pouches for ATACs that allow you to mount anything on your chest. So that's great. This entire system, this isn't just a chest rig. The AVS is an entire system.
Right,
so
this is one part of an entire system.
Oh yeah, so this is just a chest rig, which you can configure it as. You can run it as a standalone if you have an actual Crye AVS plate carrier system, which we've seen before on our plate carrier episode. And remember how it had that cross strap in the back?
Yeah.
They can do it. You can mount that to this.
Ah.
So if you wanted to run a little bit more, you know, more comfortable with the actual harness, you can absolutely do that with this and just have it on the front.
Okay.
And you know, it kind of acts as a plate carrier, but it doesn't have the plate carrier bags. But one thing with this does have is the ability to put a front plate in here.
So that's what all this system is for.
Yep, that's what that system, it allows you to have a front plate in there for maximum protection. So if you want to run it just like the Velocity systems with a plate in there, you absolutely can. One thing that makes this chest rig shine above the Velocity systems though, is if you take a look in the general purpose pouches, you have this black elastic.
For a side plate.
You can run a side plate.
Okay.
In this. So you can almost turn this entire chest rig into a plate carrier.
Wow.
If you wanted to, which in my opinion is super cool. Not a lot of chest rigs I've seen allow you to do that. And when you have it rigged with plates, you can use it as a side loader. So it opens from the side here, and that's how you don
and
this.
doff.
Yeah, don and doff this chest rig here. But if you don't, you can just run it as a separate system just as long as you have the back plates. So if you look on the inside next to the plate bag, you have these internal little inserts here, which can accommodate a sidearm, so a pistol. I think that's pretty cool. Not a lot of chest rigs I've seen have internal pistol retention.
Right.
There's a reason why we use Crye in Ranger Regiment and in Special Forces. Plus, every Special Operations unit has some Crye in their equipment. You know, they sell the AVS 1000 pack, which can be used as a backing, and now you have an assault pack attached to this. So I think, you know, just as a warfighter kit, like if I'm going to combat and I need a chest rig, I'm possibly gonna be looking at this one.
And hey, if you're still in the Army, that means the government's paying for it anyway.
Yeah, but if you're here on shift fire, it's whatever the budget can fit.
All right, folks, so we've seen a series of chest rigs today. Cameron, what do you think, the most bang for the buck, what would be your pick?
In my opinion, it all comes down to what I'm doing. So just for what I know, I'm gonna choose these for military, but as a civilian, I'm going to choose the Haley.
Nice.
And then I'm just gonna spit on the Condor.
So my thought process is, will I use it? I'm a civilian now, I'm never gonna be in the military. I'm trying to think of what am I gonna be doing in my life in the future that is gonna necessitate having a chest rig? I'm actually thinking the D3 CR Micro is gonna be my choice. The modularity in Haley is really fun. Low profile, I love it. I love sleek designs and stuff like that. Plus, it's real modular. It's kind of like the Crye systems, but more bang for the buck. That's what I'm going with, the Micro.
From here over, excellent chest rigs. You're gonna get what you pay for. Condor, you get what you pay for, but hey, that's the name of the game.
Right.
That's gonna conclude this episode of War Wallet. We hope it provided you substantial information to kind of give you a good idea of what you're looking for if you're in the market for a chest rig. Now, let's be honest, there's a lot of chest rigs out there. These are just few of the picks, but ultimately, go for what's gonna, you know, serve its purpose for you specifically.
Folks, thank you for joining us on this episode. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know what other chest rigs are out there that you would like to see in a future episode of War Wallet. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, all the buttons of every kind. We'll see you on the next one too.
What's going on, fire team? Welcome back to Shift Fire. I'm so used to being on that
True,
side.
man. Do you want to take the tag off the Condor just to give him a chance?
Yes.